On the morning you wake to the end of the world, take your body back to the kai, to the place our kupuna taught us life began. First pole, then coral, then slime, then a whole universe fitting into a space smaller than a grain of sand. Then air rising through the ocean, pulling the tides that make mountains, valleys, and the rivers that cut through them. Remember our Aina, for all the ways she had fed us. In the quiet darkness before the blast, dive yourself back into the depth of creation, recalling all the times your world has ended before. In Hawaii, we have this saying that says, "Ikawa mamua, ikawa mahope," which means the time in front of you and the time behind you. But kawa mamua, the time in front of you, also means the past. And the time behind you, kawa mahope, means the time that comes after, or the future. And so one of the things that's kind of written into our understanding of time and space is that we always back into the future facing the past.
We have so many beautiful sunrises here, but the sunrise was so unusual and so exceptional that Bruce said, I've got to go get the good camera and photograph it. And so there was that kind of recording of the sunrise on that day that was noticed by so many people. It was beautiful, but it was flaming and it was ominous all at the same time.
I was born and raised in Hawaii. This has been my home for my entire life. I was excited to go into work Saturday. I was just finished getting ready and my phone alarm went off and I'm thinking, oh, it's gonna be like a flood alert. We get those a lot. But I looked down at it and I froze. Like, I looked at it and I could not believe what I was looking at.
You initially can't even process it. It's something you have to stare at for a moment and say, wait a minute, what is this? This is not possible. And then the fear jumps in. This could be possible. And straight away I realized if I'm getting this message, so is everyone across the island.
The U.S. Pacific Command has detected a missile threat to Hawaii. A missile may impact on land or sea within minutes. This is not a drill. If you are indoors, stay indoors. If you are outdoors, seek immediate shelter and
There was this impulse, first to be with loved ones. If people were with their kids, it was, where do we go to protect them? How do we protect them? Our girls are 7 miles away, and Bruce said, I don't know if this is real or not, but I need to be with them. What I should absolutely know, that if this was real and there was a ballistic missile coming to us, that I would probably never see him again.
My sister first woke me up while I was having my beauty sleep, and then they told us that they just got a text that there would be a missile attack and that we would have to hide very safely so we don't get hurt.
So many people panicked. People were shoving their children, and this still haunts me, down storm drains against their will. How do you explain it to a child that has no idea what this is, but that it doesn't make any rational sense that we would live in a world where we would have to do this?
Hawaii is still home for me, even though I'm a long way away. My family is there. My friends that I grew up with are there. They are my people. That day I was reading in the library at Princeton, where I study nuclear weapon issues. I remember seeing my phone out of the corner of my eye start lighting up with message after message. Did you all get the missile alarm? I have no clue what we're supposed to do. Sirens were heard in Manoa, but nowhere else. There's nothing on the news or the radio. Should we drive to somewhere with a base? My dad is going to Kualoa Ranch to help people into the bunkers. I'm freaking out. I don't have Jada with me. I'll have to drive to her. Tamara, how much time do we have? What can we do? My friends wanted answers. They wanted a way out. And I knew I didn't have one to give them. If this alert was real, people on the ground had 15 minutes or less. Even if this were only an average-sized nuclear weapon, much of Honolulu would be flattened by the initial blast wave. Beyond the flames, radiation from fallout would poison the beaches and the forests. Our home would become toxic and sick. Suddenly, I stopped thinking about nuclear weapons in terms of technology or security. I thought of them in terms of my family, my home.
I remember looking at my dad, and he was just sitting there, and he said, "We're 5 miles from Pearl Harbor. There's nothing we can do." For it to suddenly come at, 8 o'clock in the morning, "Hey, what have you done with your life? And are you happy with that? Are you ready to just go right now? Are you good with that?" I quietly texted my best friend saying, "I love you. I'm really proud of you, and I know you're going to do really good things with your life."
As soon as I got onto our 2-lane highway, there was growing chaos all around me. People driving at high speed, some speeding already at about 90 to 100 miles an hour. I was already at 80 or 90 miles an hour. Cars driving across the median strip, people jumping out of their cars, running into stores, laying down in the aisles.
We were all in our pajamas and we just were running, and I started sobbing because I didn't want to die. I remember Jacqueline, she was really tired from all of the running. She got on my dad's back.
We ran to a building that is quite substantial, like somebody believed that there was some kind of a shelter in that building. As we got to the building, there was a huge surge of several hundred people, and they were screaming at us, "There's no room here, there's no room here, find somewhere else." So we just stood outside, horrified, terrified, thinking, the people inside might make it and we're not going to make it. I remember looking up and everything seemed completely normal.
Grandfather always used to tell us about war and how it was scary and how it changed him. And then he used to always talk about Pearl Harbor and how what he heard were just loud airplanes, and they were flying over the mountains towards Pearl Harbor. And he said he saw one plane just went straight down into one of the boats. So he saw everything.
Let's keep in mind,